thanks so much. I almost thought I wasn't going to make it in tonight. I happened to. I mean, this is a wild, crazy street back here. I was parallel parking with the car, and I accidentally bumped into this. Is the guy here with the? There he is, and I bumped. I didn't. Did I kill the car? I like touched the car. You know, and I continue parking, and the guy runs out, and you know, it's like Charles Manson. You know, he's banging on the windows, he's trying to kill me. And what he didn't realize is I'm just a psycho, and we're both dead right now outside. But it really didn't happen. But it happened that I got in a fight over this thing, and it was obvious that the guy was going to hurt me very much. So I said, "I'm sorry, I'll pay you whatever you want." It was a very tragic sort of thing. I was in the back of the bar, and this guy came up, and he said to the bartender, he said, "Hey, listen, man, introduce me to that beautiful chick at the end of the bar." And the bartender, he said, "Well, forget it, she's a lesbian." And he said, "What do you mean she's a lesbian?" He says, this is a true story. He says, "She's a lesbian." He says, "What do you mean she's a lesbian?" She's a lesbian. She said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Go find out for yourself." The guy says, "I will." He saunters down to the edge of the bar. He says to the chick, he says, "Young lady, the moment I saw your hair glisten from the moonlight, from the neon outside, sparkle in your eyes," he said, "I knew I had to buy you the drink." He said, "This was a magic moment." She says, "Forget it." She says, "I'm a lesbian." He says, "What do you mean you're a lesbian?" He says, she says, "I'm a lesbian." She says, "I don't like men, I'm into women. I like to hold women, to kiss women, to fondle women, to caress women. I like their breasts, the way they smell." The guy starts to cry. She says, "What?" She says, "What's the matter?" He says, "I think I'm a lesbian too." Did anyone see those debates the other night? Dan Quayle. I mean, guys like him give guys that look like me a bad name. I was just sort of reminded that now if we get a George Bush pumpkin, we can have a Dukakis Bush debate right here between pumpkins here. I mean, that Dukakis, I mean, how is that going to sound? Here is President Dukakis. This is not a presidential name, you know? I mean, it may scare people to have Dan Quayle as vice president, but I don't care what the man is made of to have President Dukakis. I mean, Dukakis is not something you put in the Oval Office, it's something you put in the men's room. In any case, I am right from down the street, believe it or not, Larchmont, the best childhood money can buy. Wonderful. Who the hell is smoking here? Do you see that new smokeless cigarette they have in the paper? Has anyone heard about this? Have you heard about it? It's absolutely true. I'm a vehement non-smoker. And there is a new smokeless cigarette. When it doesn't burn, here's a guy lights up. Thank you very much. This is one. I don't need to be treated like this here. I could go home and let my mother mistreat me. But they have a new smokeless cigarette. It doesn't burn. It heats through a filament. The only side effect is coughless lung cancer. We have Rambo sitting here, for Christ. What is this? You learn in comedy rule number 1, don't fool with somebody who looks like he has a chainsaw in the trunk of his car. He does, too. Tell us about the whips now, and the chains, the manacles, the handcuffs. But it's very difficult. I'm living in Manhattan now on 22nd Street. I can't stand Manhattan. I can't stand the noise. I'll tell you what I can't stand about Manhattan. This happened to me in Manhattan the other day, and it never happened to me in the suburbs. I went out to move my car. You have to move your car every other day in Manhattan. And it's called alternate side of the street parking. And I moved my car, and I went for an ice cream, and I came back, and I'm looking at my car, and there's a wino using my car, my brand new 1988 Hyundai, as a urinal. Now, I'm a hypochondriac to think I'm touching this microphone. Excuse me a second. I'm a hypochondriac anyway, and to think this guy is using my car as a urinal, I figured that if I ever had to get a flat tire and had to change my car, I'd catch AIDS from the tire, but... Safe comedy, ladies and gentlemen. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, who is from the area of Larchmont? Oh, can you remember this from the Odd Couple? Hold on. We'll all do it actually trying to entertain people with that. In any case, I was having sex the other day, and I said to myself, Self, it's time you met a girl here. No, I mean, masturbation, don't, listen. Here's an expert on the subject. And he's black, now that's kinky. Having sex with a black man. Anyway, masturbation is, don't feel guilty because it's only sex with someone that you love. Or in your case, with a carrot, I suppose. With a vegetable. And she has one in the trunk of the car. So. But I'm trying to work off the top. I just returned to school, but you know, I'm in school at New York University. I'm returning 11 years. I figure it's time to finish the degree. I'm in NYU, New York University, and believe it or not, I mean this isn't funny, but Isabella Rossellini is in my English class. Could you imagine? Do you know who that is? Blue Velvet, she wore blue. Now, it's hard to concentrate on English when the girl sitting next to you saw naked in a movie the night before. But this really happened. And I'll be 28 years old at the end of the month, but I'm back in school and I'm meeting all these young girls. And he has one in the back of his car. Now, did you read? How about this? The world is absolutely crazy. You gotta worry who you're having relations with. Everybody is worried about AIDS. You know, the Catholic priests are getting AIDS because the church does not believe in condoms. But think about it. But actually, when you think about sex, what was the guy that preppy murder thing with Robert Chambers? Remember that? It was just in the news. Now that is absolutely. First of all, I think the guy is a psycho. I think he should be in jail for the rest of his life. Of course, you know what they do to guys in jail is the same thing he got in trouble for going there in the first place. He's going to go back in for a little more. I mean, I hope that the inmates do to him what he did to that girl, so to speak. But in any case, this guy Chamber, well, I mean, was this Daisy Sunshine? Well, it's 3 a.m. I think I'll go with this wacko to the park in the bushes. But can you imagine Robert Chambers? How does he ask a girl out? Because he got a new girlfriend after that. Well, he calls her up. He says, "Hey, babe, it's Robert. Oh, thanks. I look good on the tube tonight. I wore my best suit in court. I was wondering maybe you'd like to go out for a beer, see a movie, catch a, I don't know, have a few drinks, go for a walk in the park, fool around in the bushes, die." Says he killed that girl in the park during sex. It was an accident, he says, an accident. Now let me ask you, an accident for most men during sex isn't murder. That's premature ejaculation, by the way. But for friends of mine, guys I know, they're getting married. Sorry, Mr. Dukakis. Thank you very much. I believe Boston Harbor, yes, and he's George Bush, yes, and well, George Bush, to endear himself to the masses, because, you know, he has this image of being a preppy, rich kind of guy. What does he do for vice president? He gets a preppier, richer guy. And, actually, when Mr. Bentsen, did you see? Have you noticed Dukakis looks exactly like Rod Serling with eyebrows? But what was I talking? I was talking about my relationships with women. I don't know where that goes. I called this girl up. I asked her to come see me for a film. She says, "I'm sorry, I can't go out with you. I'm going with my roommate to a movie." I said, "Oh, well, your guy roommate or your girl roommate?" She has 2 roommates. She says, "Well, what difference does that make?" I said, "Well, no difference." I said, if it's your girl roommate, invite Howard, you know, tell me I'll invite Howard, he can date her, she can date. But if it's the guy roommate, tell me now, because I don't want to be the third wheel. Well, she says, "It is my girl roommate." She says, "You'd still be the third wheel." You know, when you're, I don't know if you quite understand the intellectual concepts of that. That was sort of a lesbian joke. See, I'd be the third wheel, there would be 2 girls and me, which would be a sandwich, I guess, or something like that. So in any case, ladies, oh geez, he's coughing. Is it serious? You have the night sweats yet? Everybody is scared, everybody. Did you hear about the new disease that's striking all the housewives up here in Westchester? It's called maids. They die if they don't get one. It reminds me, by the way, did you know Masters and Johnson, they had this, but New York Times survey, they said only 12% of homosexuals in New York City were born that way. That was in the New York Times. The rest were sucked into it. Yeah, but you'll be telling that one at the office on Monday. And then but Masters and Johnson did a sexual survey. They were the moment of orgasm, the big O, so to speak, among different women of different ethnic groups. For instance, an Italian woman, every woman responds the same way at that moment of peak sexual arousal. It is, the Italian woman goes, oh, mamma mia, mamma mia. The black woman, every black woman responds in the same way as, oh, baby, baby, baby. The French woman, vive la France, vive la France. The Jewish woman, you know, the ceiling needs paint. What's the best way to stop a Jewish girl from having sex? You marry her. You imagine I'm talking about Jewish housewife jokes here, and this woman's getting steamed, but we outnumber you. No, Jewish girl, Marceau showed me this, a little intellectual humor. Jewish girl eating a banana. You know who Marceau is? He is a mime, see, so there's no words here, okay? Marceau showed me this, a Jewish girl eating a banana. What do you say? In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all. You're a very nice group. Thank you so much. We have a wonderful show. These guys are real heroes and they're really terrific. And I hope that if you're as nice to them as you are to me, except this guy who wasn't very nice to me. He nearly killed, I'm telling you. But he's a nice, he came up, he shook my hand later. I had to get shots. No, he's a nice fellow. Actually, he explained it to me. You see, he's going a little bit psycho right now. His girlfriend has PMS and it's affecting him. No. You're going to get mad again. You can put the gun away, sir. Then you can, can I do an impression by, there's one thing that I do, it's the mad scientist from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then I'll leave. The mad scientist from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You can applaud now, because if this doesn't go over well, I want to applaud it. I've just developed a magic, this is Dr. Jekyll. I've just developed a magic potion, and with one sip, I will be transformed into the most dastardly, dangerous, and despicable monster in all of creation. And now I shall drink the potion and become the monster. Oh no, I'm changing. I'm becoming the monster. Well, my fellow Americans, to those of you who I'm asking all Americans not to travel abroad. If you'd like to visit a foreign country, well, how about Miami Beach? Or if you'd like to go to Gay Paris, why not try San Francisco or Greenwich Village? Good night. Have a pleasant tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Russel Harvey.